in the Ask Pastor Otabil segment is a question about the fact that God does not appoint presidents, the point you made last week. So Yao from Abokobi is asking, how true is the saying that the voice of the people is the voice of God? Then David Mensah from Kaswa is quoting Romans 13:1 that says, let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. And he's asking, if that is the case, then definitely God does appoint presidents. Let me box that with Samuel from Ablikuma, who is saying that, by the way, Proverbs 16:33 says, the lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. Since the outcome of the lot is determined by God, can we not say that God also appoints leaders? All three are trying to interrogate the same issue about appointment of leaders by God. Maybe you want to bring clarity to the two scriptures especially.
Yes, let me take them. The first one about Lot. The lot is cast, right, and the outcome is cast in the lap. The outcome is from the Lord. It's not even talking about election of leaders. It's talking about casting of lots. There are two concepts here. In the context there was what is called the sacred lot, which normally was cast by the priest, and there is a secular lot, which people cast. So if people want to make a decision, they don't know what to do. It's almost like heads or tails. Yeah. They take a coin, you throw it up, heads you win, tail you lose. I mean, basically that. It's pure chance. And then it says that although there's chance, there's also the sovereign will of God. It's talking about how determination is not about election of leaders at all. Because in a vote, it's not a game of chance. It's the will of the people, the choice of the people being canvassed for. So we don't toss coins to choose a president. We determine the will of the people to choose a president. Right. So the lot there is a little different from voting. Okay. So that's the first thing. Be subject to those in authority. Those in authority are appointed of God. If we take it as literally that way, then it means anybody who opposes a certain president is opposing God. And so if we take it that literally, it means you cannot even elect and be an opposition member, and you cannot be voted to replace a certain president because he's already been established by God. What the verse is saying is not that the man is appointed by God, but the office is recognized by God. And God recognizes whoever is there. We put the people there and God recognizes it. So the president, therefore, of any nation is not appointed by God. He's elected by the will of the people, but God recognizes the authority of leaders and what they're supposed to do. And the voice of the people is the voice of God. That, first, is not in the Bible. It's a general speech. But it is trying to talk about unanimity. When everybody has the same mind, we say, maybe it's God. I will give two comments to that. First, if you read the Bible, you'll find that many times everybody has one mind, and God will send a prophet with a message that is opposite the whole house of Israel. You say, prophesy against the whole house of Israel. In other words, everybody thinks this way, but it's not the voice of God. So the voice of the people is not the voice of God necessarily. But if you were to take that phrase into consideration, it's talking about totality, unanimity. When we vote, we cannot say that the majority is the voice of God because they won by a couple of thousand votes. So there's a whole vast majority who did not agree with, or vast number who did not agree with this position. So the vote is not the voice of the people because some people didn't vote that way. The vote and the outcome of the vote is the voice of a majority of the people. And we have decided that once we have a simple majority expressing their voice, it elects you as a president. We cannot therefore use that to say God has spoken. That doesn't make sense. So I know it's uncomfortable for people to think that God doesn't appoint presidents, but no matter how you turn it from the scriptures, he doesn't. Many times we think because in Israel, God did, to, not all of them, but a couple of them. So that is it. Ghana is not Israel. We are not a covenant nation of God. We are a secular nation. We have determined how leaders are elected. And when we do elect those leaders, God will recognize, because leadership is recognized by God.
Thank you very much, Pastor Otabil, for those